but no Mbessa. Not allowed. It's not allowed, Gordo. All right, Keshi's not getting it. It's unfortunate, but he's going to have to find something else to have a good game on the Varus ban. I mean, it's crazy that we're saying that this is both a bot lane and a top lane ban now too, because of the, increase in frequency of Varus top lane. But it's LNG back on first pick, ThunderTalk back on blue side. Azir first pick, Orianna's banned. That is really tough. I mean, Talia is up. You can go that, maybe a Ziggs, but Ari Lee Sin, Ari Vi. I like the simplicity of the draft if this is the idea, but I already think that with the Azir, it's so tough to lane against that or to play against that in a game.
It is definitely difficult. BuLLDog has gotten the Azir a fair amount this season and has been plenty happy to be able to play it when he does get the chance. This will be his 6th Azir game, so really been kind of jamming that series in, series out, frequently against the Orianna, but now he gets to play it against Ahri, and he says, yeah, thank you very much. I'll take that. Give me the Wukong for some of that extra team fight power. Sheer says, I'll blind the Gnar. You know what? Let's just make sure that we get ourselves a solid matchup at the bottom lane. And it looks like playing through Keshi. Listen, I again respect it for ThunderTalk if this is their choice. Live by Keshi, die by Keshi. Lock in the Jax as their matchup up against the Gnar. Another first-time debut champion for Keshi here in their play-in series.
I'm really surprised at the rise in Gnar priority. Towards the end of last year, we were seeing none of it, even into the Renekton, the beginning of this year as well, and all of a sudden it's just come back in full force. To my knowledge, there weren't any changes to Gnar or even any items that he builds. People just started playing it into Renekton again and then felt like, man, Gnar is actually really good. And it's blindable now. So Gnar blind, Jace is banned, Kennen's gone. Some tough matchups for Gnar. It'll be the Jax answer, which can be good with the gap closed, but I still think the Gnar side lane is very, very scary, or can be very, very scary. ThunderTalk going with a very simple draft. Vi Ahri, strong laner, the Jax. I think having an engaged support and then something that can dish out damage from the bot lane from ThunderTalk would be a really good recipe for some strong team fights, but we need to get there. We need to actually be at the Dragon. Or LNG, with the Wukong Azir, they're going to get to late game, and it's going to look very similar to last game.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a risk. Definitely want to get themselves a little bit of perhaps disengage here if they do want to be able to play through this Jax as a bit of a side laner / flanker. The Ahri going to be a little bit mobile, as is the Vi, but this is more of an engage pick duo than it is tools to be able to get themselves out of the fight. The Renata Ezreal both banned away, as is the Ashe, so they deny that Ashe-Seraphine duo that has been growing in popularity over the course of 16-2. Doesn't seem like that's going to be on the table for them this time around, so instead, see what direction they want to go. If they do want to just try to play like a group and team fight sort of composition, this would be the time to kind of show that hand. Can also just go for a generic engage support, keep things secret. And the Thresh going to pretty much communicate, we want Aphelios.
Yeah, not super secret, unfortunately. I guess you could go Jinx, Lucian Braum, the option here for LNG, or it could be, a Lucian Nami if you want to go that. I think that the Thresh Aphelios, if they do get that, it is a really good look. One of LNG's losses was against an Aphelios, so take what you want from that statement. But it will be the Sivir lock-in for LNG, actually. Sivir, Leona, Rel. I think an engaged support is very necessary here for LNG. I don't love a Karma. I think you want some more engaged to help. Otherwise, you're relying on Gnar. Wukong's pretty good, but Azir, you don't want to have to rely on the shuffle. You'd love something else. You've got a ton of backline damage with the Sivir and the Azir. This will obviously open up for whatever AD carry that ThunderTalk want, whether it is that Aphelios, whether it is the Jinx, but we haven't seen any Jinx played, even though there has been a historic pair with the Thresh. It will just be the Aphelios Thresh for our second game here, Gordo. I like ThunderTalk's draft. I think it's got a good mid-game with the Vi Ahri. It's got good catch potential, guaranteed lockdown with the Vi, and the Aphelios is some great late-game damage.
Yeah, I like the Jacks for them too here, right? They get themselves another counter pick top lane. It's a matchup that on paper looks pretty good. I like Vi and Gnar as well. It's a really good, mini Gnar is a really good target to be able to get in there on the cease and desist and just say, hey, I'm going to hit you with the ultimate. You're going to get stunned by Counter-Strike right after. And between the two of us, you're going to be dead before you get out of that CC chain. Mini Gnar, plenty squishy for a top laner. Will give opportunities for Keshi to find those advantages, which seems to be the name of the game for ThunderTalk in this series as they go for a heavily prioed top lane counter pick the second game in a row. They've got this insurance plan as well with the Aphelios and the Thresh on the bottom side to be able to scale into the later game. They've got a nice, reliable engage combo with the Vi Ahri 202. It makes a lot of sense. It does a lot of things, but LNG certainly plenty happy with their draft as well. It's a lot of picks that they've been tried and true on throughout the season, and you know that Wukong Azir is a really steady team fighting duo alongside that Sivir as well that are going to be able to just win you out team fights if you play them out front to back as you draw it up.
Yeah, the Azir is super strong as well. One of the highest priorities in the meta right now. Sivir has been rising as well, mostly against the Varus. But let's jump on the riff for game 2. Jayo. Let's go, LNG. Jayo, LNG, Jayo, ThunderTalk. There. Done?
There we go. I guess that's as I
hope they know.
Get as far as game
There's an
number 2.
Australian color caster on a fan broadcast. I hear some, but, you know, I'm cheering. I'm cheering over here. I'm like closer than you are to them right now, like location-wise. Maybe hopefully they'll hear me and, you know, get boosted by that cheer.
I'm about as far away from them as they make people. So, yeah, that's you're going to hold that credit over me, Jbetto. And, you know, at the very least, getting a little bit of excitement on out there. I'm sure some fans are cheering there as well. It's just it's got to really kind of hit that threshold. As we take a look at, you know, maybe why this might not be the most hype matchup in the world for fans in person. LNG, a dominant season. ThunderTalk, hoping for better things in the future.
Yeah, one singular game, like I highlighted before, for ThunderTalk, and 2 singular losses for LNG. They haven't lost a series yet. This is the 6-0 versus 0-6. So, you know, you can see how ThunderTalk season has been. It's been, you know, not the best. I think that outside of them really coming online, finding some insane synergy, it is likely that ThunderTalk will be in Group Nirvana for Split 2, which is not necessarily, you know, that's not a bad thing. The Group Nirvana will be bigger, so they'll have more time as well. There'll be more matches, get some more wins online as well. It is a bit unfortunate, you know, -1, when you're playing against, you know, EDG, WE, NIP all season. NIP just qualified for Group Ascend, so that doesn't feel good, you know, for ThunderTalk. But LNG have been off to an absolute tear so far throughout the first split. It is only 6 series, but they did secure that first seed as well coming into this play-ins.
Yeah, and been looking good with it so far. Ooh, nice little route, though, found by Ryan. Going to allow Feather to follow on up with the hook. And Missing going to face some punishment for his misdeeds here. Forced to flash. Does not want to get blocked away by that Lantern and stutter step back into potentially being killed by Ryan.
Yeah, I think, Ryan could have flashed in there for the auto and then taken the Lantern back. So good respect flash from Missing, but already Gordo were off to a different start in this game too. Okay, it is push for mid and bot for the first levels, but we've found some fight back in the bot lane, forcing Missing's heal and flash out early. Means that potentially there is a look to find a hook on him Missing, and he's not super tanky in the early game, although he does have the Aftershock, which is actually a really nice pickup. Missing kind of identifying here that he is going to be the primary target for a lot of the engages. Junhao is around again. That's how we saw the game 1 start, and similar to game 1, he'll be spotted out, and he'll have to walk away.
Yep, just looking to make sure that Ryan and Feather are not going to fall victim to what many teams have fallen victim to, which is Croco arriving and making sure that 1xN and Missing can play as aggressively as they want, at least try to push them into some sort of pseudo 3-on-3 territories. And Also creates an isolated one-on-one in the top lane, which is exactly what you want when you are getting the counter pick. Second game in a row that they have given that over to Keshi. First dragon going to be up here very, very shortly. The first spawn of the Scuttle Crabs will be exchanged 1 for 1. I mean, Junhao's just setting up a tent down here, brother. I mean, it's nothing to do other than to be on the lookout for his bot lane and waiting for his camps to respawn.
I mean, the camp's not too bad so far, but Junhao spending a lot of time down in the bot lane. Vi does have really good ganks. You know, some of the best pre-level 6 ganks out of any jungler. And it does really like the level 3. Her level 1 is really weak. So in past times, it's been very difficult to blind pick Vi because of the invade potential. You know, if there was like a Graves in the meta or a Nidalee, you just get run down at level 1 and there's just nothing you can do about it. But Vi in recent times has been fine. So despite her very weak, like level 1 and kind of weak level 2 Feather, maybe looking for a hook. I do think that this Sivir matchup, if the hook... I don't actually know about this matchup, so I'm going to have to look. If the hook stays after the spell shield and she just doesn't get pulled, then Feather can just go to the hook and E the Sivir. But if the spell shield blocks the hook completely, then it's really tough for Feather to do anything in this matchup. Oh, it does block it. Perfect. Thank you, LPL. We now know it does block the hook, so there's nothing Feather can really do about catching 1xN out. It's going to have to be missing.
Yeah, definitely. Or you're just going to have to, you know, catch 1xN on a poor reaction time or on a cooldown for that spell shield. So, yeah, limited opportunities here. It's going to be a fight over this dragon. All 4 members of ThunderTalk already in the area. Missing going to start off with the CC onto Junhao. Here comes BuLLDog with a big shifting sands back on towards the rest of the team. First blood going the way of Croco, but he will fall back on the opposite side. Junhao now flashing after, trying to finish 1xN. He'll be able to make the trade happen onto Ryan. And BuLLDog and Missing will chase Junhao down to try to win this fight for the side of LNG. It's already a 3 for 2, and Junhao forced entirely off the play. He's on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift, and BuLLDog will make it 4 for 2, doubling up our LNG.
ThunderTalk do find a little bit more than they did in Game 1, but it ends up being a very similar outcome, Gordo. LNG up 1,000 gold, 4 kills to them in 6 minutes off of one fight here. It's a lot of people dying very, very quickly. The summoner spells are all pretty burnt as well. Flashes decimated for ThunderTalk. They show up for this level 6 Scuttle. Really nice hook from Feather. But the level 6 is taken by Croco. That's the Scuttle Crab that gives the junglers level 6 that we've been talking about so much, and it does a ton of damage to the members of ThunderTalk. 1xN does end up falling down to Junhao, but the damage has already really been done. Junhao will fall after a little bit of ring around the rosy here. Give the kill over to BuLLDog, but no flash, no cleanse for Ryan 3 here. No flash for jungle and mid lane for ThunderTalk. Similar stories for LNG, but this Aphelios is a little bit volatile here, even with the Thresh. The Dragon, however, is going over to ThunderTalk.
They're the ones who show back up. They're the ones who claim the prize. Cloud Drake #1 going the way of ThunderTalk, but yeah, certainly going to be a lot happier about getting those 2 early kills on the Azir. Our LNG BuLLDog off to the races here. Definitely been a really strong performer for LNG throughout this season. He and Croco have been one of the strongest mid-jungle duos, of course, that we've had in the Nirvana group, and they've been able to consistently find ways to have huge impact in these dragon fights, pairing up together, pairing up with their bottom lane, and this is yet another in the history books for them. He's got 6 stacks on Darkseal now, by the way.
That's pretty scary. I don't know how often, you know, Darkseal Azir is built. I'll have to ask Fools about that. But BuLLDog having 6 to Darkseal this early, 2 kills, 2 assists.
Here's the combo. BuLLDog flashes, dashes, still gets charmed, still gets finished off, does manage to shuffle Junhao back away, and that will be a KO onto the jungler. Now Heru trying to kite away, can't do it. Croco finishes him off, and that's LNG's jungler for you. Always where he needs to be, makes
Beautiful.
it into a 2 for 1.
Well, the stacks did get reduced there, but Junhao did die, so a kill went over to BuLLDog. So he got some more stacks, and unfortunately, that wasn't an assist for BuLLDog on the Heru, so he didn't get more stacks back, but he's still only at 3 now. But a Croco, it's a very similar idea to what happened in game 1, where Junhao ganked bot lane for the, 1 kill, and then Croco was there waiting, pathing over to the bot side it was in game 1 to make it a 1-for-1 in this game. He makes it a 2-for-1 in favor of LNG, despite ThunderTalk being the aggressors on the play. Uses the ult from 1xn. I'm guessing he didn't have spell shield there, so forced to use that ult to get away.
Absolutely there. Well done by the team to get on out of dodge. Keshi takes a big combo from Meganar there, going to end up losing a solid chunk of his HP, and Sheer doing a great job laning into the counter pick once again here. Finds himself up a couple waves worth of CS. Not going to be dissuaded by this Jax at this stage of the game. Will, of course, be a major scaling threat. As they do manage to knock the crust off that bot lane tower, get themselves a plate worth of gold. They're going to even get themselves a second one here while 1xn is still en route back from his recall. So Ryan gets a little bit of additional gold. Flashing from Keshi on the top side. Thinks that he can take a fight out of this Mininar. Gets a decent chunk of damage on through. Gonna keep the pressure on. Almost finishes him off with one more Empower, but Sheer is able to hold on as he transforms.
Can't believe Sheer didn't flash that. I mean, if Keshi goes for this play, Croco is around the corner. He just got ult back available, but Keshi instead will go down to the grubs. ThunderTalk have had a much better game on the objective front, and I think it comes off the back of this Vi, Gordo, being able to fight aggressively and take some of these trades. The lanes aren't necessarily winning outside of bot lane. I mean, that was a really nice all-in from Keshi that gives prior over to the Dragon, but the mid lane is very favored for BuLLDog right now, but Junhao's found in, 3 grubs to ThunderTalk. The first Dragon to ThunderTalk. I will say, I am a little... Oh, hold on. Hook down in bot lane. It'll result in Feather just walking away. Croco's here, but I don't think we're diving. I'm a little upset. We haven't seen Dusk and Dawn Jax fully come in. I would have really liked that. Junhao's here in the top lane. She has Flash.
Flash in from Junhao, going to be able to get the lockdown, but it is Mega Gnar, so Sheer tankier, still had the flash from earlier, gets himself out of danger, and absorbs the gank. Now missing, flashing into the bottom side, gets right on top of Ryan. Ryan going to be able to fight backwards for now, but will be finished off by Croco. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but 1xn going to make sure that they clean house. 2 to LNG for 1 to ThunderTalk yet again.
That was very difficult to do. There's no minions under the tower, and LNG make it work. And Sheer lives in the top side. That flash save from earlier really mattered so that the repeat visit from Junhao doesn't get the kill, and then LNG execute the dive on the bot side. Ryan did get a kill on his own right, so we're still very even in terms of items on the bot lane. But LNG... I feel like they have the tempo vibes, if you know what I'm talking about, Gordo. If you know that LCK phrase from last year. They have the tempo vibes in this game.
Yeah, definitely the ones starting the plays and the ones finishing the plays. They are able to avoid pretty much everything Junhao's gone for so far, despite the 2 kills in his pocket. It's always ended up as a positive LNG play at the end of the day, and now they find themselves behind in basically every lane. As LNG rolls up to the bottom side, can start off this Dragon number 2. ThunderTalk not going to be able to keep that stacking going despite their success on the first one. Will they be able to show up here and try to contest? Junhao not even going to be able to get into the pit, and now they're looking for a fight. Missing, finds the Zenith Blade, forces the flash out of Feather, going to throw down that Solar Flare, but here's an engage over the wall. Missing, going to be the target. Heru dashes in with the Spirit Rush, already down to only 1 charge, can't land the charm, and BuLLDog's just auto-attacking him to death. Heru forced over the wall, going to be able to dash back away. Hook connects onto the Wukong clone, not much to be done with that thing, and LNG, they just force back ThunderTalk again.
Yeah, they push them back. You can really see that Missing knows what his role is this game. He has Aftershock and he rushed Zeke's Convergence. I'm loving the support item variety in 2026. I think that the end of 2025, it was really stale because of the low income of the role. Redemption being so strong, you only went Redemption. Now we're seeing a plethora of different items. The Zeke's first for missing is really nice, makes him tanky as well. But LNG get the Drake. They win the fight, get Heru's flash out as well. So it did cost Croco's flash. Sheer. Is this a solo kill? He just runs him down?
I fear it may be, Jbetto. Really nice positioning on that boomerang.
Ooh.
Oh, good counter-strike from Keshi. Was it all a bait? Here comes the rest of the squad, but Croco's here to back up his top laner, commits the Cyclone, and will push Junhao and Feather away. Nobody's hit the floor off of this play, and technically, LNG committed more members.
Okay, Sheer is playing really well mechanically, but if this is... game goes over to LNG. I think Croco just might be MVP of the series if they win, because he has just been everywhere. Every play that ThunderTalk have made throughout this entire series, and most of them have been in this game, to be fair. Croco has just been everywhere, answering the play, setting the pace on his own right. Sheer is dead there. He oversteps, and he's dead if Croco isn't there with ult to help him out. Now, it will give Herald over to ThunderTalk, so ThunderTalk... a much, much better objective game than game one. But still, LNG, with the more pace in this game, BuLLDog has just quietly built up this 1,000 gold lead in mid as well. He's going to be hitting really hard with these, the upgraded Merc Treads. He's got the Nashes as well. Hasn't got any more stacks on Darkseal, but when he bases for his next item, BuLLDog is going to be super strong.
And Jbetto, hold up a second. Junhao, being stared down by multiple members of LNG, is channeling that Vault Breaker. Sheer finds a solid little trade into Keshi. Doesn't get him into the wall with the Gnar, but it's fine. He'll be able to retreat. As I was saying, if Croco does end up winning that Player of the Series, that's just going to be another day in the office for him. He leads the league in Player of the Series awards so far this split, with 4 of them already. I mean, he has just been such a huge contributor to this LNG team, and in their turnaround from what was a really, really bad 2025. And this new roster, led by him in many ways, has just started to look like they could be, at least a top 8 team in the LPL.
I think in Croco's first games, and hold on, this hook comes out.
Ooh, nice double knockup found by Croco. In comes missing right behind him. It's a little bit of a 4 versus 3 with the clone involved. Croco going to dash on forward. Nice hook connects onto Sheer, but it just doesn't matter. Croco's brute forcing his way through the whole fight. TP comes in from Heru, stunned up en route. Finally, Ryan will be able to get the kill, but not before his mid laner drops down as well. Throws down the Moonlight Vigil, but will be absorbed without too much trouble by the LNG crew. They win the fight 2-for-1, as I feel like I've been saying on repeat all game long.
Yeah, ThunderTalk get a kill, but trading when down is okay, but you're always trading, negatively. It's 2-for-1. It's LNG setting the pace again, pulling TPs out. I don't think you really want this hook, Feather. You just let Croco come in and ult you. I love the Zeeks from missing this game. I'm going to talk about it again. The fact that he's just constantly got the ult up. He's slowing in an AoE after it. Really, really nice. Croco and Sheer, man, they're just pushing this team forward. Yeah, yes, he did. But he's there, all right? The button was used, and he would have hit them if they had done what he expected them to do.
True. And, yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you, that was an even-numbered fight. I think he felt pretty good with Jax coming in with ultimate available and everything. It was still mini-Gnar. And it just doesn't work. Croco is too strong, right? The Trinity Force Wukong is a hell of a drug. Does so much damage to you, and getting those 2 Cyclones on off is just enough to turn the fight when everybody's all grouped together.
Dragon's up. Looks like ThunderTalk have priority around that. LNG are more concerned with getting some gold onto this Gnar, getting their top camp, so Dragons have been really important in 2026 so far. ThunderTalk able to get their first Dragon lead in this series. Their first Dragon in general in this series, but they've got 2 now, and Junhao's dead.
Yeah, Junhao gets found here, does get the Dragon, sacrifices his life for it. Croco claims the kill credit. And if BuLLDog finds a little bit of a Jax here, might even get a little more action, doesn't end up spotting out Keshi. And the game will continue to go in LNG's favor. They just build up a bigger and bigger lead. They don't mind that they've sacrificed a dragon or two to Junhao, because the end result has always been bigger and bigger gold leads for them. They pick up that bot lane outer turret for their efforts. They take control of the bottom side of the jungle, and they're not going to let it go. They're going to try to keep this push going. So they just don't really have any reason to be anywhere else.
Yeah, Croco's up 40 CS in jungle, which is really not great. I think that cross-mapping in this season hasn't been the best because the gold leads feel a little fake. You get gold so fast anyway in the game, so getting a couple of tower plays, I mean, it's nice, but you know, if you look, you know, 1xN and Ryan are fairly even in items. This game, not so much. I mean, the good news for ThunderTalk is that they've got 2 Drakes. The bad news is they're down 5,500 gold in 20 minutes off of, you know, mostly not team fighting. Again, it's mostly been LNG just getting gold on the map, whether that's farming, pushing down towers, and sometimes it has been the kills always trading up for LNG. This is very suspicious activity from ThunderTalk. They use the Herald as well. Are they looking for a fight, or are they going to try to go for the tower?
Ryan used all his Severum ammo, too, so not going to really have red and white for a follow-up team fight.
We are driving this.
Throw down. All right, we're in the Rift Herald. This is Ahri, by the way. If Missing goes for this, it's probably going to be Heru's life. Does take the Dark Passage back in towards Feather. Kind of jukes out Missing a little bit while he's at it, and that might be enough to get him out. The mind games from ThunderTalk give them 3 plates in mid.
They do get 3 plates. They lost Flash on Jax and Vi, however. The Flash in Jax was down bot lane, but... Oh, no, it's just bugged. Don't worry. It was grayed out.
Okay, well, we walk right back in anyway. There's going to be a Zenith Blade coming on through. Tyler getting knocked up. Feather getting knocked down as BuLLDog going to be able to pick up that kill. Here come the flanking frontliners. Junhao pushed back away. Keshi going to be able to pick up one. That kill credit goes over the way of Ryan. So it is a 1-for-1 exchange. The best one ThunderTalk's had in a while, but LNG are just bursting through this turret. They get themselves that credit, and you know what? Maybe not 2-for-1 in Champions, but 2-for-1 if you count the turret.
Okay, now Vi used Flash, but Ryan also used Flash in Clans. ThunderTalk, I mean, they're getting things in this game. They're finding fight back, which is good. They're not just kind of rolling over like they did in Game 1. But I'm really not sure what they're looking for. The Dragon is 2 minutes away. Maybe the Herald was expiring. I don't think that it was, but it might have been. So they look at the Baron. They start the Baron to check damage. That's fine, but it is also on full vision, and they take a decent amount of damage from the Baron as well. Then they summon Herald and go for the tower that gets a few plates, and then they walk back in and get engaged on by LNG and then lose their own mid tower. I don't think ThunderTalk are running out of time. So I don't like the idea of sending it and making your AD carry weaker. This is an Aphelios. Yes, there is a Thresh on the side of the Aphelios to help him get through these fights, but you just lost Flash Cleanse on your Aphelios a minute and a half before the Dragon. Dragon stacking is not that much of a concern for LNG this game. They've only got 1 Dragon, but I mean, maybe a Baron startup. I mean, LNG have a lot of damage with Azir Sivir, 2 items in, and this Aphelios is a prime target.
Yeah, I mean, between Gnar, Azir, Sivir, they do Baron so fast, but Sheer getting a little bit caught out here. He's got the backup of his team. Croco comes in with the knockup. Still, Keshi will be able to finish off the solo kill on towards his opponent. Gets a little bit of help from Junhao there as well. Junhao going to get chased on down by BuLLDog. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange so far. And that will be Keshi getting a little bit of gold back in the tank in a trade for his jungler. But without a jungler, how do you contest the Baron, Jbetto? LNG going to have control over that river still in this 4v4.
It's another fight where ThunderTalk do get a kill, but like you said, they lost their Vi. Keshi does a really good job of taking down Sheer there. This Jax does do a lot of damage. And Ryan now has 3 items. That's what the 3 in his name for, 3 items. I mean, he had it last game. They lost at that. He has it this game. Maybe this game, the Aphelios does get to pop off with 3 items. But with no Flash, no Cleanse, it is tough. Dragon's up. LNG are going to go for it. I think for ThunderTalk here, the best option is to give, which does feel bad. You just spiked on your 3 items of Aphelios. You're up on items against Sivir. But you don't have Flash, no Cleanse. You don't have priority. Your junglers just come back out on the map, so you will lose this Dragon.
Oh, knockup found. It's Missing, getting a little bit caught out, gets on the hunted by his marksman, but still getting chased. Exhaust comes through. 4 members of ThunderTalk smell blood in the water, and they will be able to take out Missing. Heru gets his 2nd kill of the game.
I bought a lot of time, though, so I don't think ThunderTalk can do anything with this kill. Missing is very tanky with the Celestial opposition, with the Ziggs, the Aftershock. Oh, I mean, we're going to try anyway. Missing's dead. Baron is on the table here. It's burning pretty fast.
Yeah, they're going to be able to do it pretty fast here with Ryan. He's got the chakrams stacked up. Hook comes through. Charm comes through. Croco can't do anything. The Baron will get slited down. ThunderTalk successfully secure the purple worm off a pick onto Missing. And they're still down in gold, but hell, they're alive in this game, Jbetto. I'll say it now.
Yeah, that's really big. I think LNG also thought, oh, they can't do this. Like, Missing's dead. They can't really do anything. But with the red-white, that Baron melts so quickly. I thought with Vi Ari it would have taken so much longer. But LNG don't even get to walk in. And finally, one of these hooks hits onto the real Croco, not the clone. And even though they don't kill him, it means he can't get in for a steal. BuLLDog can't do anything. So, ThunderTalk get the Baron. What more can they get for this? Because this Baron is more or less a time save. And let's try to close this gold lead a little bit. Mostly in mid and jungle, Ryan has his lead. But if we can get some of these tier 1 towers down, make the gold even, this dragon will be a lot easier for ThunderTalk to approach.
Yeah, there's some decent standing gold around the map. If they were able to clean out all of these outer turrets, it would do a lot to collapse the gold lead. But LNG so far doing a good job of the defense. Nobody is keeping that wave pushed in on the top side. Shear's going to be able to fix that. Keshi working to be able to get some push going in the bottom, but that's going to take a while, even with the Baroned up minions. Now the clock is starting to tick here. Shear's got to be able to get down there, or they got to assign somebody else in that area, or they will end up losing that bot turret. And the current rate of things, it looks like they will probably lose it. Keshi's going to finish this very fast.
Yeah, sideline Jax with the Sheen. It does that very quickly, but we've got a minute of Baron left. The Sivir destroys waves instantly. You got Baron, sure. You've gotten 1 tower from it. No, not even a plate after that so far. On the mid lane, you didn't have anyone on the top side. There will be Heru in the top side now to push down that turret. And if LNG overstay their tempo in mid here, they will also lose the top lane turret. And it looks like they are just willing to give both side lane turrets to keep mid control.
Alright, there's an engage found on towards Feather, but the backup's not quite there. TP's being channeled by both parties. Here come the top laners. Hook connects immediately onto Sheer, and he's going to get blown up as he shifts back into mini form, missing the next target. Keshi knocks him down with a mighty swing. 2 kills back over to ThunderTalk with 30 seconds of Baron left.
Now, I don't know what LNG are doing. They looked for the play. I thought originally it was just to get the double TP out. I thought, man, that's a really smart play, but no. Sheer is on the TP. I'm pretty sure he was mega as he TP'd in, and it wore off as he landed. So he TP'd in as mini Nah with no chance of developing rage, and he just got instantly melted. And now, after that, the gold has been completely evaporated. ThunderTalk even up this game. LNG stumbling.
Yeah, I mean, props to Feather there, too. Perfectly timed hook. Yeah, in, 9 out of 10 situations, this is a hook onto a Mega Gnar, and you probably can't one-shot him, but still, I mean, the presence of mind to know to go for this.
So he's
Sheer
Mega.
Comes on in, and it's right there.
And it wears off as soon as he gets there? Look, he's Mega here, he gets hooked, and then he turns mini instantly. And then he just gets obliterated, then Missing dies as well. Why? Why are we doing this, LNG? I don't understand. You've got a gold lead. Like, they got Baron. They're only getting some side lane turrets. I don't like the 5 in mid, give up both side lane turrets to begin with. But I really, really don't like go to the side lane and then TP straight back to mid to fight into lose your entire gold lane combo. It was really well executed by LNG. But the dragon is in 20 seconds. And Gordo, no vision. This is more like those clips we were talking about before the series started. LNG with some bad teamfight positioning. They have no vision over the dragon, and this will be sole point for ThunderTalk.
Yeah, absolutely here is going to be continuing to try to face off in mid lane here as Heru looking for another charm to potentially come on through. Does not quite find his target. Junhao going to start up onto this dragon. This is going to be soul point whoever gets it. Croco charmed up right away. Chunk to about half. Nice start here for ThunderTalk as they do still have control. Croco going to be able to look for a steal. Does not decide to go for it. Soul point secured for ThunderTalk over the wall. Junhao ultimates the clone, and now Croco's got a pathway to get out of here. Feather going to get focused down, but the rest of the team tries to flash out to safety. Will be finished off by Sheer. Quad knockup found by Croco with the recast of his Cyclone. Sheer over the wall going to transform, go Mega. Croco going to get involved with another clone. Triple stun found here by Keshi. Can he turn this back for the team? 1xN and BuLLDog doing his best to be able to fight back through. Keshi in that counter-strike will finally be taken down, but now it's Ryan's turn to turn it back around. It's a triple kill to Ryan 3. 1xN trying his best to fight 1 versus 3, but he's just got no chance. He's got to bail on this fight as ThunderTalk walk away the victors.
So many things went wrong for both teams in that fight, Gordo. I mean, it starts, like you mentioned, with the Vi ulting the Wukong clone, but at the end of the day, untouched Aphelios. So ults the clone here, which is not a great start. Croco gets a massive ult on this second one as Missing goes in with the Zenith Blade here. A massive flash ult. BuLLDog goes in and pushes everyone away. He pushes them away. If he had pushed Keshi in or maybe flashed onto Ryan and done the Faker combo, Ryan was dead. But he's completely untouched and Keshi gets a 4-man stun on the Counter-Strike. Ryan on this Aphelios is pretty much untouched throughout the majority of this fight. And we're back on another Baron. Does that say 8,000 damage for Aphelios in live? I think it does. That is a lot of damage.
I can't believe that we can Vi ultimate a Wukong clone and win out the team fight. This is not a good sign for LNG Jbetto. As
no,
ThunderTalk have fought their way back into this. They have the gold lead now for the first time in the entire game. Ryan is grooving. He's got a full-on legendary shutdown available to him. He's absolutely massive on a 7-3 scoreline, and LNG have not been able to reach him in these team fights. Now a second Baron at their backs to be able to take whatever they can.
One of LNG's losses against LGD was a Jax and an Aphelios together in one comp with a Vi. This is almost exactly the comp that LGD played against LNG that ThunderTalk are playing, and it's working the exact same way. LNG get completely distracted by all these members, zoned away by Keshi, and they can't kill Ryan. The only damage is Ryan. We need to kill this Aphelios, but he has GA now.
Solar Flare used. I think he was fishing for Heru. Heru used the Spirit Rush to get out. Quick little exchange of ultimates on the top side. ThunderTalk will get away unscathed. And now with a little bit of breathing room, LNG going to do their best to just siphon up these waves, wait out this Baron buff, and they got to show up to this next dragon or they're going to be facing down a mountain sold up ThunderTalk.
And make this Aphelios even harder to kill. I mean, he has the GA, he's got 4 crit items, you know, full 100% crit. 1xN also has 4 items, so while down a lot of gold, it is just that GA, which is a really important factor of the fights, but 1xN will still do as much damage as you want from a Sivir. But I think that 1xN has been quiet this game so far. I haven't really seen a Sivir pop-off moment where, you know, the bouncing autos do so much damage. The double GA and the Zhonya's from Keshi, they're so hard to kill. And in a minute, this Mountain Soul is going to make them even harder to kill.
Very well could. That's why we need LNG to show up and try to defend this if they want to be able to still have a chance in this game. Working 4 members on towards this turret. LNG still up at the front line. Hook connects on a BuLLDog, but the follow-up is not quite there. Sheer's still working on the split push, meanwhile. Should be able to take this inner turret for his name, but Keshi going to be working on the inhibitor turret, and it just one-shots it there. So it's a turret for turret trade, but another turret going the way of ThunderTalk. They go up 2 for 1 in that metric. Finally able to protect the inhibitor is the likes of 1xN, but Nice moves on the
Oh,
push
what's even
for
behind?
ThunderTalk. Is TP behind? They want to get the play going. Croco finds a double knockup off the back of his Cyclone, and Feather is done for right as the Dragon is about to spawn. Can Junhao get out of this? Channels himself another Q. Will be able to fall back away in time, but still no support for this upcoming Dragon spawn.
No flash, no Cyclone for Croco for the support. I think you take that as ThunderTalk. LNG needed to go more. They needed BuLLDog there as well. If he has TP, they needed... I mean, Sheer missed his jump over the wall. But it will be ThunderTalk actually giving the Dragon. So that is enough. I thought that maybe ThunderTalk could rally a fight together with this 3,000 gold lead of Felios, but LNG will make the Dragons 3-3. The Baron has worn off. There's a 2,500 gold lead. Most of that is on Ryan. If he dies, there is no more gold lead for ThunderTalk. So this game, Gordo, from how this series has started, has gone down to one singular Dragon for Soul. Whoever gets the next Dragon has Mountain Soul. And a hero game from Ryan. He needs to stay alive and pop off throughout the rest of this game if ThunderTalk want to even out this series.
Absolutely. This is a player who has just not been able to get out of laning phase basically all season long, but now showing up crucially in this game that is going to very possibly determine whether they can be competitive in this series. That's going to determine whether or not they can stay alive in the winter split. An excellent Aphelios game from him so far, but he's got to be able to get it across the finish line. Got to be able to execute on at least one more team fight. And we know that LNG are so adept at syncing up and performing in these clutch moments. The Azir Sivir comp not to be scoffed at. They need to be able to keep Ryan safe.
Yeah, BuLLDog has so much damage. He's got the Rabadons online too. 1xN working on his Bloodthirster as well that I assume Ryan is building into the same item. But it's Baron in 1 minute. LNG, if we can find a pick.
No, they do find their way on towards Feather once again. Sheer is over the wall to be able to finish that kill off, and it's a 5 versus 4 for LNG yet again, picking off the Thresh. This time, it will not cost them an objective. He will be back up in time for the Baron.
Yeah, he will, but it will mean that LNG should have priority on the map until Feather comes back. Ryan is a little bit less safe, but he has the best guns. He's got the blue-red, then he's going to have red-white, and then green-white after that. So he's got the 3 good gun sets for this next fight. If you can hold on to that for 30 more seconds, the Baron will be up. Feather will spawn in 10 seconds. And I feel like LNG, that was a pick that I expected them to get a little more off of. Maybe some vision, a little bit of lane prior, and instead they all reset and came back out. No flash from Feather. It doesn't matter. He's going to TP back into the lane. So now it's as if he never died at all.
Definitely is. It does mean that another item was completed here for 1xN. He is ready to brawl on this Sivir if he can get his fight lines established. He and BuLLDog staying close together with missing at their back to be able to get anybody off of them who does try to dive on through. 4 versus 4 around here. It is going to be Sheer who's the first one to arrive at this fight. TP in from Keshi, 5-on-5 territory now, but the inside track of the Baron available to LNG.
Yeah. They just gave full priority over to Baron. Keshi was on the top side for a pinch, and the TP from Keshi means that LNG just start up the Baron. It's actually a bait, though. They're in this mid-brush. Feather's caught.
Oh, Feather first up on the menu once again. Charm dodged away from. Here comes Keshi over the wall, looking for the sun, but 1xN going to be able to spell shield it. Nobody able to get onto 1xN so far. He's chucking boomerangs through the whole team, but Ryan doing much the same. Throws out his Moonlight Vigil, flashes over the wall, going to be able to finish off on a BuLLDog, but 1xN, look at him, still firing away through the entire fight. Ryan caught in a 1 versus 3. Keshi going to bail him out. Finishes off 1xN. It's all on Croco and Sheer, trying to finish off Ryan. Ryan going to drop down, but not before he finishes off Sheer as well, and now it's Keshi and Croco, the last 2 left alive, and this is a fight that Keshi can win all day long. 4 members down on either team. Croco is able to juke him out with the decoy, so 4 for 4 is your final fight score.
What is happening in this series, Gordo, in the second game? It's a 4 for 4 at 40 minutes as Baron spawns. There is so much damage in this game right now from the Aphelios, from the Sivir, from this Azir. As we take a look back, Ryan is again unchecked for so much of this fight. Keshi finds a brilliant stun into the backline, but 1xN cleanses it with the spell shield. And again, BuLLDog shuffles Keshi away instead of into his team. But Ryan is completely unleashed. No one can touch him, but 1xN kind of the same. So it's about these carries, these AD carries, the late game scaling that do so much damage. They both just disappear from the game. As soon as they're touched by either, I don't even know how Ryan died here, but he did. Passive from Nara, I think it was. And then 4 for 4, we're back for round 2.
Hyper, baby. It does what you need.
15,000! 15k from Sivir in one fight?
Yeah. That was a gorgeous team fight from 1xN. It's another Solar Flare onto Feather. Sheer finds him yet again. Heru cut away from the rest of the team. Already had to use 2 charges of Spirit Rush. And missing will not let this fish go. Keshi gonna dive onto 1xN. Once again, it's gonna be spell shielded. And Keshi not going to be able to get on top of this Sivir. Just rampaging through the fight is 1xN. Continuing to chuck out boomerangs. Keeping Ryan at bay. And now another Zenith Blade connects through. It's on towards Heru. Heru low on health. Got sectioned off by the Sivir and is easily finished off. So much damage here from 1xN. LNG find the fight that they need. Ryan cut off from the rest of the team. They're trying to section off missing and take him down. He will fall, but it's gonna be Ryan taken out on the opposite side. That is not a worthwhile trade, ThunderTalk, and you're not gonna be able to win that fight without Ryan at your back. Keshi goes into the stasis, but he is just delaying the inevitable as Sheer will shuffle him right back into the wall. Dragon Soul for LNG. Team fight for LNG, and they pull the game back from the brink.
And now they'll be able to walk over with their jungler still alive, Gordo, and go for Baron. Feather dies at the start of the fight every time, but he takes so long to die. BuLLDog is getting one shot through every fight. So the engage is onto Feather, but he's tanky. He doesn't die quickly enough, is able to get over the wall here. But watch Keshi's flank. He's not seen. Again, LNG don't have great vision. BuLLDog just dies so quickly here. He gets the shuffle away, but he gets one shot by Ryan and Keshi together. But 1xN, after that engage is done, there's no more onto him. He gets to free fire throughout most of this fight. LNG have superior health bars, still have, you know, their jungler around here with a decent amount of health, still have their support, which is so much of the CC. These AD carries just die so quickly. This is like, what, 50 minutes in, 45 minutes in. Mountain Soul with full build. Baron now on every member of LNG. We are 41 minutes in, Gordo. It's a 400 gold lead for LNG.
This game has gone completely off the rails. Gold doesn't matter at all anymore. They are dead even for all intents and purposes. The Dragon Soul for LNG, absolutely massive though. Being able to secure these last 2 Elemental Drakes in a row, giving them that permanent shield, giving them that little bit of extra health. And the fact that 1xN has gotten to play out these last 2 fights on such a safe plane of existence. They've gotten BuLLDog, but they haven't gotten 1xN. And once again, the highest damage percent AD carry in the LPL is showing up in the team fights.
I think that Heru has had a bit of a quiet game from this one too. Even though BuLLDog's been dying, I don't think this Ahri has really been doing a ton in these fights. No CC onto 1xN. He has GA now. It's full 7 slots of items for both of our AD carries. I think Ryan's GA has also come back up, but LNG looking to end it.
ThunderTalk got to get in on this fight right away. The Solar Flare stunned up onto Heru. He couldn't get the fight started the way he wanted. Now the first Nexus turret's down. Heru going to flash forward. Doesn't find the charm that he needs. Keshi looking to get onto 1xN of the backline. Once again, his stun is going to get spell shielded. And they found Ryan. They shuffled him back into the team. They executed him with another beautiful boomerang blade. And LNG dominate the team fight, take the Nexus, and move on to match point in this series.
Not the easiest game we've seen, but a win nonetheless. LNG make it happen. And Gordo's camera's frozen because that was an insane game.
I'm doing my best.
BuLLDog shuffles were not the best that game at all, but it doesn't really matter when your AD carry can do that much in these team fights. I cannot wait to see the damage graphs for these 80 carries. That was insane.
Indeed, it was such a really strong performance to be able to fight back from the LNG carries. They show up in just the nick of time to be able to execute on those team fights, whether it was BuLLDog finding the shuffle that they needed or 1xN staying alive for the amount of time that they needed him. As I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Such great team
series.
fighting on the Sivir in particular. Is able to keep him safe every single fight. That mattered towards the end of the game there. And all the credit in the world goes to how well he was able to navigate some of those fights, kiting around the edge, continuing to find boomerang blades. That's how you end up with the 16k damage team fights.
Yeah, that fight was ridiculous. I think the Aphelios also had like 12k or 12.5k damage. So that's more damage than like multiple roles get in a professional game of League of Legends in the entire game sometimes. Like junglers will get 5k. 10k is like whoa, that guy popped off. Like he did so much damage in the early game, but ridiculous damage from the 80 carries throughout that game. But I mean, the question is now for ThunderTalk, you were in a great position. You had in that game, and LNG managed to pull it away from your hands. It is good ThunderTalk were able to get to that position that makes this series that much closer now. Because that first game, after that first game, it was looking pretty dire for ThunderTalk. That was a really good change-up, you know. Priority in bot with the Aphelios, the Aphelios Thresh. Pardon me. Some strong late-game damage. A good side lane as well. The top lane wasn't getting, you know, solo killed and caught out all over the place. But LNG still make it work.
Yeah, I think it was just, I mean, the density of threats ended up making such a big difference there, right? They were not able to get Heru into positions to be able to reset through these team fights, died way too quickly in the vast majority of them, and meanwhile, BuLLDog still demanded so much attention on this later game as here. It's part of why this champion has the priority he has, so they were frequently able to get onto BuLLDog, but when you blow all your resources on BuLLDog, you know, when you use cease and desist on him, when you use your full combo, when you use pretty much everything but the counter-strike, that was the only CC that was ever going towards 1xN. He's got Spell Shield and Cleanse for that one, baby. So once again, every single fight, it's Sivir stacking up the numbers as she should once she gets to these 5 and 6 item power spikes. And that's what gets LNG over the edge.
Yeah, I mean, it's the LPL gold graph we see there, but 1xN has more damage than both top laners combined. He has more damage than both mid laners combined nearly. Such a performance on this Sivir. I mean, you have to have a game like that because the Aphelios is pulling back, right? There were multiple fights where Ryan is unchecked him. Funnily enough, I'll have to check in the break, but exactly what the comp was, I don't exactly remember, but this is very similar of a comp that LGD played against LNG and LNG lost against it. It had the Vi, had the Jax, and had the Aphelios as well. But eventually Ryan is targeted through the fights and does fall down in crucial late game team fights. I think that BuLLDog's Azir, some shuffles are great. This is one of them that is not one of those fights. He had Flash in that fight. Not the best Azir performance, but it's okay. You know, he still did really good damage, necessary damage. I think that Heru had a really quiet game here. But that was a really exciting game too. It means that this series is a lot closer than it was, both in, you know, performance, but in terms of implications. You know, ThunderTalk can win games. We just need to see them close it out.
Yeah, I think they put themselves into a really solid position here. I think they were really kind of grooving in some of these team fights for a while when they were able to access 1xN, when they were able to kind of play it out at their own pace, when they were able to find good positions for Ryan to be able to play. I mean, this is almost a fight that they're able to take for themselves here, right? Keshi gets onto 1xN. It's just Ryan can't quite stay alive for long of it. He's one hyper proc away from being able to stay alive, and then when you have two members, one of them being your marksman, you know, the world's your oyster. You could have accomplished so much more off of that fight, but just not barely able to make it.
Great engages from Keshi. This was a good shuffle from BuLLDog, keeps his team alive, but he gets one shot, but 1xN is just free hitting the entire fight. And Ryan should be able to, but he has no support, so he can't be safe. And Heru walks in by himself, gets caught here. I think that some of the pieces for ThunderTalk weren't the cleanest, although the mid game was really, really good from ThunderTalk. For LNG, you can't be getting into game states like that where you're relying on late game Sivir to carry you through the game. I mean, maybe that is the gameplay. Like, it's actually fine. We're happy to. Yeah, I don't know about this shuffle either here. It is a little awkward, but I think it's okay to rely on your Sivir to do a ton of damage, but getting into game sets like that isn't where you want to be necessarily. You want a game more like Game 1 for LNG, where you're really destroying ThunderTalk. I think a lot of this came from, some target prioritization issues. I think that when you allow Keshi in like that, and when you let Ryan have a game like he had, you run the risk of this Aphelios coming back, which he did do, and then nearly taking over the game completely. I mean, MVP, it's got to be... Okay, you know what? I was going to say it's got to be, my Sivir, but
yeah.
This is okay. I think that it was Croco until the Sivir took over and did 60,000 damage, but I'm still with it. I'm still with the Croco hype.
Yeah, I mean, found some good engages there. I mean, again, it's a team fight that they lose, but he gets a quad knockup in one of those fights that really allows them to play basically to parity when it looked like it should have been a team fight that really could have been a big wipe for the side of ThunderTalk. And I mean, I think everybody's kind of starting to come around on Croco as just the major force on this team and a player that needs to be respected in the LPL. Again, looking like he's on track to potentially be in Group Ascend next split. And if he does end up there, I think it's going to be very exciting to see how he's able to match up against some of the best junglers in the league.
I mean, he's still going to get through this series and then the one after this before LNG is in. And that series does put, an asterisk next to this team for me. I mean, they've lost matches. They have lost matches. This is not even a loss. But ThunderTalk is a team that won one singular game. So I think that if you put yourself into positions like that against teams that are going to punish you for it, that are not going to let you get the early game like you had in Game 1, LNG need to tighten up through that mid game and, make sure that they don't make any mistakes that give over these larger sums of gold to Aphelios. And even the early game looked similar for LNG. They looked really good. ThunderTalk got the objectives, sure, but it wasn't unplayable until some of those fights where Aphelios was really unchecked.
Definitely agree there. Well, we'll find out if ThunderTalk can show some of that magic and get it across the finish line in game number 3. We're going to throw it to a quick break here, but we will be back with game number 3 draft